Hey peeps, so I want to tell you about my trip that I took last month, the last week of March. Yeah, no. March, I mean April. Whew, the months go by so fast. Yeah, I can't believe this upcoming week is gonna be June. That's crazy. But anyway, so last month, the last week of April, I went to this conference. It was hosted by this nonprofit Equal Justice Initiative. Equal Justice Initiative is a group of attorneys that work diligently in representing young people, juvenile, who may be charged as an adult and trying to remove that adult sentence. Um, Also, those who have a mental disability, if they are put on death row, these group of attorneys, and like myself and other people, believe that they shouldn't be put on death row. It's actually unconstitutional. They work to get them out. Um, those who, yeah, those who may be innocent, those who may have harsh sentencing, these group of attorneys work and serve those group of people, particularly those who are poor and who are people of color, because those are the people who are primarily targeted, unfortunately. And EJI is something that was created by this wonderful human being, Brian Stevenson, who some of you may know, who have written this powerful book called Just Mercy. But he had this vision. He had this vision that certain groups of people are discarded by society and they need to have someone advocate for them. So he created this nonprofit. And 20 years later, he had a vision to create this lynching memorial. Something that he thought would be really good for this nation, America, would that we really confront our dark history of enslaving Black people. So he wanted to share about how enslavement kind of evolved. In the era of New Jim Crow, innocent Black people were lynched. They didn't deserve any of that cruelty. And he wanted to have a memorial that honors all those individuals. And he wanted to have a time to celebrate that and really memorialize that. So he decided, and his team decided, to have a conference where they would have legal professionals, activists, experts, people who've been doing this for a long time, really advocating for justice, and just talk about important issues and invite everyone to come for a very low price. And I was like, I heard about this happening and I was like, I can afford it. I can take the time off work, and I was on board. So I'm really glad I was able to go, and I was able to get some friends to come with me. So that was really good too. But yeah, so there was a lot of good, there was a lot that happened, a lot of good things that happened, a lot of challenging things that happened. I was able to see Michelle Alexander. I love her. She's an attorney and also a professor and an advocate. And she wrote this book called New Jim Crow that I just finished reading. I just love how meticulous she is in really honing in and articulating what is actually going on with our criminal legal system. And it was really cool to see her up close and again just share her experience and her expertise and her insight, her wisdom. And it was really good to hear from all these phenomenal speakers and movement builders. So there was 2 days of that. And then, let's see. And then they had a opening ceremony that had those who gave talks. They had celebrities. Ava DuVernay was there. Alfre Woodard was there. There were even a couple celebrities in the audience. We also honored those who were part of the civil rights movement, who really pioneered and helped us overcome those obstacles, overcome those battles that we had in the Jim Crow era. And yeah, being able to see Bryan Stevenson, he came out on that first talk, and it was a really nice surprise because I wasn't expecting him to really open the conference. But it was really good to see him and how compelling and how wonderful of a storyteller he is. He shared at the opening ceremony about his experience with one of his clients, and that was really moving, and I wasn't really prepared to be emotional, so I kind of suppressed them. I know that's not the best, but I just wasn't ready for that yet. But don't you worry, I did let myself go. It's healthy to do that. You need to do that, and I definitely did that. And so the opening ceremony was really good. BB Winans performed. I grew up watching him, listening to his music, gospel artist. And then we had Patti LaBelle. Now, she is phenomenal. I remember when she had her role in A Different World. And I remember my mom telling me, "Oh my gosh, that's Patti LaBelle." I was like, "No, it isn't." But no, yeah. So anyway, she just brought the house down. She ended the whole opening ceremony. She threw a shoe, a mic stand. It was crazy, but it was great. So yeah, just to really celebrate that the Lynching Memorial was created and is open for all to see. And not only do they have this lynching memorial, but they also have the museum that is called the Legacy Museum, and it showcases the history of the Black community in America, and again how our oppression has evolved, our enslavement has evolved, because racism is still alive and well, unfortunately, and slavery is still alive and well too. It's just veiled as mass incarceration, and a lot of people may not think that's a racial thing, but it really is. You should read New Jim Crow and it will enlighten you. So it just showed the history of slavery, the Jim Crow era, and today, where it showed that millions of Black and brown people, disproportionate rates of particular ethnic groups of color are behind bars, simply because we have a dark skin tone, and we've been placed in a inferior position, this country. And again, so definitely Black and brown people are put into this trap where we don't really have many options, and sometimes we find ourselves behind bars, unfortunately. And a huge part of that is just how systems have been in place. But to go back to my personal experience being in Montgomery, Alabama, where the Lynching Memorial and the Legacy Museum and the EJI main office operates out of. That's their hometown, their home base. They're not anywhere else. It was challenging too. Going through the Lynching Memorial, very somber, trying to really get myself in the right mindset to really go through all the names, all the counties, throughout the whole country. They did their research. I thought it was just going to be names of the city Montgomery, but it was the whole country, and there are 4,000 names, 4,000 people that were recorded being lynched. And they know for a fact that there are some that weren't even recorded, that there are probably even tens of thousands more that weren't found in records. And we honor them too. So to look at some of the particular reasons why they were lynched was really devastating. There was one that really rocked me because now I'm trying to educate myself in what is going on in politics right now, and getting people informed and really having our voice be expressed through voting. And there was one person that got lynched because he was registering people to vote. That's not okay. And yeah, that was heartbreaking seeing it. Yeah, there was many of those, majority of those, probably all of them. It was just off of people who were really trying to fight against the system, people who were accused of looking at white women in an offensive way. They didn't deserve that. So that was challenging. And then going through the museum, that was, going to the museum and having stories being told of the trauma and the loneliness, the hopelessness that people felt. That was difficult to go through. I'm not going to give too many more details because I really want to encourage everyone to go there. You gotta take a trip to Montgomery and go through the Lynching Memorial, go through the Legacy Museum, because you really be able to honor these individuals, these people that didn't deserve any of that, and also learn a lot about America's history and learn about the reality of the present, that there are people behind bars. Some are innocent of actually committing the crime that they may be charged for. Some just may have not been given the option to really fully develop into the potential that God has given them. Everyone has gifts, everyone has a purpose, but yet there are systems in place that don't want people to step into their potential, for people to really step into their God-given purpose. And it's because of racism. It's because of wanting to keep white people superior to black people, to brown people, and keep them on the bottom and not give them much access to really embrace the gifts that they are to this world. We need to be able to confront that is what is going on, that has been going on for centuries, so we can get to the place that we need to be, where we can fully reconcile and fully step into loving each other, committed to each other, and also knowing that there's someone who came onto this earth that embodied that and can show us that, and that is Jesus Christ. God sent his son here to really show us what love really looks like, and he has the blueprint of how to live that out. this is only one step of really embodying that and embracing that too. So yeah, and right now I'm just going to show you a clip of, of my whole experience. There was a concert too that was really great. Being there with friends was really helpful to process everything, to really be affirmed and to think about things that I didn't really see, have different perspectives. So, and it really it was really fun being with other people, because there were moments where it was really challenging and sad, and I had moments of joy because I had incredible people come with me, and I just love that I was able to have this experience. You should go too. Go, make it out there.
Father, my daughter, she the princess and the dragon slayer. I'm a dragon slayer. I can't fly away. The song hideaway. I gotta find a way. I gotta.
In the middle of something?
Certainly by now, I think we understand the price, the cost of not remembering.
That's right.
Of colorblindness, of looking away, of sweeping history under the rug, of attempting to move on without facing the truth, without telling the truth. And we see now that if we fail to face our history, if we fail to tell the truth, we will repeat it. Like a child who will just keep sticking their hand in a fire because they do not remember the hurt of the pain if they have no memory. We as our nation, our collective subconscious, as well as all of those who are intent on preserving white supremacy and racial hierarchy, will rebirth these systems of racial and social control over and over again. And as Brian Stevenson has eloquently stated, slavery didn't die, it evolved.
That's right.
Sometimes they're taken from their home, whatever is the means, and they are killed. And that killing has some public dimension, which is kind of what makes it a lynching, right? You're not trying to hide it, it's a message crime. So you're hanging the body, you're burning the body, you're dragging the body through the streets, you're leaving the body on the black side of town. You want to send the message. Now what happens? What should happen is there should be an apparatus of investigation.
Rid of the consent decrees that had been used to bring rogue police departments more closely into line with what the actual standards were supposed to be. And in some instances, police departments themselves wanted to have this oversight that would help them develop better practices or come closer to best practices. And the DOJ said that we're no longer interested. We have to even raise the question of whether that even is systemic wrongdoing in any police department in the United States. And so I wondered, from your perspectives, what does the current lay of the land in terms of criminal justice and efforts at criminal justice reform look like? What are some of the things that we should be concerned about that are happening under the Sessions DOJ?
Well, I'll keep this brief because I do not want to give him that much airtime today. Jeff Sessions came into this office, shockingly came into this office, son of Alabama, with a very clear idea about law enforcement and a very clear idea about what he wanted to accomplish.
For we are the last of the loud. Nevertheless, live. Conduct your blooming in the noise and whip of the whirlwind. So that is Gwendolyn Brooks, and I take that as a call to action in community. I take that as an ancestral imperative.
We mean tap dancing and so forth. So I think it just means what the other word you said, which is to catch you in engagement. And I really think, Ava, the work you've been doing makes
left or right, wherever you can find the best pieces of this section. There are signs.
It's raining?
Y'all know we need to buy tickets for the museum.
We did. We bought it.
You bought it when you were at the
Very beginning.
But like, where's my ticket to get in? I think.
How do you get in? Just go in with your pass?
I think it's a wristband, if anything.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
It was cool. It was cool.
Did y'all see it again?
I got a good hour.
Did y'all see it again?
What did you guys go see?
Did y'all see it again?
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
What?
I really don't. No. You're like, you want me to get it? Yeah, I'm taking a video.
I'm gonna do that to you, Leanne.
Okay, you're like Veronica, or I mean, you're like Fabiana. Fabiana always.
But I won't ever do it, though. I joke about it.
I got it.
I'm not seriously gonna do anything. Okay.
Validates the lofty principles of our founding, that through common effort, we, the people, can continually remake this nation to more closely align with our highest ideals.
Honored to be with you tonight. Many of you know that I grew up not too far from here. I'm a native of Alabama. I was born in Pike County, outside of a little town called Troy. So many of our favorite artists, and I love the arts. I've said on many occasions that without art, without music, of writers, the civil rights movement would have been like a bird without wings. So many of our favorite artists, and I love the arts. I've said on many occasions that without art, without music, of writers, the civil rights movement would have been like a bird without wings.
Of Alabama, but whenever I come home, I feel gratitude to be connected to this place, and even more so today. And I hope that you can join me in just giving a I think there should be a standing O for Brian Stevenson and the beautiful team.
I'm going to probably get in trouble because there are a lot of people here tonight. It's a wonderful church. It's not that big, but I'm going to get in trouble because on Sunday at 3 o'clock, we're going to have a community remembrance service at Old Ship Zion AME Church. And Reverend McFadden, I'm inviting everybody here to church on Sunday at 3 o'clock.
Oh. Peace is not nearly.
Straight eye contact. Eye contact. You recording us? Look, my phone fell and I had to pick it up, right? My phone fell, I had to pick it up. I had to make sure.
The conversation's not gonna go on.
Eye contact.
It's just on my camera. It's gonna be muted. The conversation's not gonna go on.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Eye contact. Eye contact. I did not do that. I was trying. You did all that. I was just trying to maintain back posture. All right. As I go down, just trying to maintain back posture. Yeah, eye contact. Why are you trying to? We know you recording.
I know. That's fine.
JP was also popping and he was like twisted and popping. He was like spinning and popping. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Cases before jury because of some people, I call them my family, I call them justice seekers. At this moment, I would like for all of my EJI family
no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is the rhythm. Now listen, this is what hate